Hello, everybody, and welcome back to English with Gemma, where we turn English practice into progress. So, today I have a vocabulary episode, and I think that it's kind of a fun topic. It's lighthearted, but the vocab is very useful, especially if you are dating someone in English or you're interested in having a relationship with somebody and speaking English, or it's just good vocab to know in general in order to understand native speakers better. Because I think a very common topic that comes up in conversation is dating and relationships. So even if you're not currently dating, then it's still going to be relevant for you because this is a very common topic that people often discuss. So let's get into it. Um, yeah, I think whether you're, I can't believe I wrote this. Sometimes, sometimes I read my scripts and I'm like, I guess this is what we're saying. Like, so, sometimes you write something down and you think it sounds good, and then you say it out loud and you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? This is the sentence that I wrote on my script, and we're gonna read it, and you have to cringe here with me. Whether you're single and ready to mingle, or in a committed relationship, or somewhere in between, knowing how to talk about love and romance in English is super useful. I'm just laughing at the single and ready to mingle. Mingle means like socialize and kind of get to know people. So single and mingle rhymes. So it's a funny thing that we say, like, I'm single and ready to mingle. Like, I'm single and ready to socialize with people, to date people. Um, yeah, I don't know. I thought that sounded funny. Maybe I just had too much coffee today. All right. Let's get into this. Vocabulary around relationships and dating can often be tricky because it changes quickly with cultural trends, and what's normal to say in one English speaking country might be weird in another. So, a lot of the language surrounding relationships and dating is very informal and idiomatic. There's a lot of like idioms, expressions, slang revolving around this topic. So it doesn't always translate from the textbook English, or like the difference between British and American English might be very obvious in this topic. So I'm going to try and cover quite a lot. So everything that you'll need from meeting someone new to breaking up a relationship, including all the modern dating terminology that you might need to know. So let's get into it. So let's start off with meeting someone and first impressions. When you first meet someone that you are attracted to. So in British English, they say to fancy someone. Like, oh my God, I really fancy him. It means you're attracted to someone or you like them romantically. In American English, we don't say to fancy someone, we say like someone. Like, oh, I really like this guy. And especially when you're younger, like, because I can like my students, I can like my mom, my dad, and it's not romantic. So, in order to differentiate between liking someone, just liking them normally, and liking someone romantically, when I was a teenager, my friends would always be like, do you like him or do you like him? And when you say like twice, it means like somebody romantically. It's kind of stupid that we do that, but yeah, it's definitely a thing. So if you want to know, if someone says, oh, do you like Alex? And you're like, yeah, I like him. But if you say I like Alex, it means that you really like him, right? So that's that differentiation right there. But in British English, it's easier because if you fancy someone, it's romantic every time. I fancy him means like I like him romantically. Uh, this is kind of universal amongst all English speaking countries to have a crush on someone. A crush is when you have strong feelings of attraction for someone. And it's like often from a distance before you know them really well. So, like, I could say I have a crush on Harry Styles. I don't know Harry Styles and I don't need to know him well in order to have a crush on him. It's like, I really think he's hot. I'm attracted to him. He's funny, whatever. Like, I have a crush on Harry Styles. So, you don't need to know them. And Also, crushes are often like linked to really intense feelings, and they're often one-sided or based on like idealization rather than a real relationship. So like I have a crush on Harry Styles, but I don't know him. And I'm just kind of like making up this crazy version of him in my head. But it's one sided. He doesn't have to have a crush on me. And you can also say, I have a crush on someone, or my crush is Harry Styles, for example. I'm really into Harry Styles right now, apparently. Okay, the next expression is to hit it off with someone. To hit it off means when two people just immediately connect and get along very well. So, for example, we really hit it off on our first date. There was an instant connection. This suggests good chemistry and compatibility right from the start. The next expression is to ask someone out. This means to invite someone on a date. Very simple. He finally asked me out after 2 weeks of talking. Should I ask her out now or wait for her to make the first move? So ask out to invite someone on a date. All right, let's move on to our next phase of dating, which is early dating stages. Once you've started dating someone, there's a whole bunch of vocabulary for those early uncertain stages. Seeing someone. In my last episode, in my last mini-sode where we talked about filler words, at the end, when I shared my weekly win with you guys, I said, I'm seeing someone. I'm seeing a guy. It means I'm casually dating someone, like we're not in an official relationship yet, but I'm seeing someone, like I'm dating someone. For example, are you seeing anyone at the moment? Are you dating anyone at the moment? Yeah, I've been seeing this guy for a few weeks. All right. I think in British English, it's the same. To see someone, to go out with someone. I don't know. I think it's the same. If there's any British speakers or people that study British English more often, let me know in the comments if you also say to see someone in British English. The next one is to date, dating, or going on dates. So dating can mean either the general activity on going on dates with people, or it can mean you're actively in a relationship with someone. That's more common in American English. So the first example, I'm so tired of dating. I just want to meet the right person. This use of dating means going on dates in general. Or the second use, I have been dating this guy for 3 months. That means we're in a committed relationship. Okay, so it has two different meanings depending on the context. The next expression is talking to someone. This is like slang, modern slang, and it's more popular in American English. If you're talking to someone, it means you're in the very early stages, texting, maybe going on dates, but nothing official yet. We're not dating, we're just talking. This next word is very slang and very common. It's a situationship. So instead of a relationship, a situationship. A situationship is a relatively new term. I think it came out in the last 2 years. And it describes a romantic or sexual relationship that is not clearly defined. You're much more than friends, but you haven't talked about being exclusive or official, or the person that you're seeing is just not committing to you, and you love them and you're together and you're doing all the things that couples normally do, but you just haven't committed to each other in any meaningful way. So that's a situationship. And a lot of people, including me, can easily get stuck in situationships. I was in a situationship recently for like 1 year, and I was just like, okay, I can't do this anymore, because it's really emotionally exhausting. It's like having a boyfriend or having a partner, doing all the relationship things with them, but you're not actually in a relationship. It's exhausting. And Gemma, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing any more situationships. I'm too old for this. I'm 28 years old and I'm exhausted. Like, I just want an actual partner, So no more situationships. The next thing, which is the opposite of a situationship, is to be exclusive or to make it official with someone. This means when you decide that you're only going to date each other and you're not going to see other people. So, example, are you too exclusive now? Yeah, we finally made it official last weekend. So being exclusive means you're excluding other people from your relationship. You're not dating other people. You're just going with one other person. All right. Next phase, actually being in a relationship. Once you're in an established relationship, here's the vocab that you will need: boyfriend, girlfriend, and partner. These are the standard terms. Partner is getting increasingly popular because it's gender neutral. So it can feel more serious or more mature than saying boyfriend, girlfriend, especially for people in long term relationships. So it's not always to avoid saying the gender of someone, it just sounds like more mature, I think, like my partner. Um, it's not like the same as my husband or my wife, but it's like saying boyfriend or girlfriend without using those terms. So for example, I'd like you to meet my partner, Sarah. All right, partner. But boyfriend and girlfriend are totally fine too, obviously. The next one is, I really hate this expression. I don't know why. Sorry. I'm yawning. I hate this. I hate the way it sounds. I can't explain to you why. It's not a bad thing, a bad word or anything. I just don't like it. It sounds weird. Significant other. My significant other. Like bleh, I don't know. Bleh, bleh. I hate it. So significant other is a formal gender neutral term for a romantic partner. It's a bit old fashioned, but it's still used, especially in writing or formal contexts. I just personally think it sounds weird. Oh my goodness, my cat. Where are you? Hi. Oh God, welcome to the podcast. Here's my cat. Oh my God. You want to say something? Say something. He doesn't want to say something. If you're not watching the video, Oliver, my cat, just jumped into my lap. Don't put your butthole in the camera. Nobody wants to see that. All right. The next one is, it's cute. I like this one. My other half or my better half. In Spanish, they say mi media naranja, which means my half orange, which is basically the same as saying this, my other half or my better half. I have no idea why they use orange, but they do. So my other half or my better half is an affectionate, slightly old-fashioned way to talk about your partner. For example, I can't make it to the party. I promised my other half that we'd have dinner tonight. The next expression is to be head over heels about someone. It means to be completely in love with someone. He is absolutely head over heels for her. The preposition for. He's head over heels for her. He's like totally in love with her. The next expression is to be smitten. Smitten. To be smitten. To be smitten, it's similar to be head over heels, deeply attracted to and in love with someone, or like very, very, very happy with someone. For example, she is completely smitten with him. And the last phrase in this section is the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is the early, exciting period of a relationship where everything feels perfect. That's normally like the first 3 months of a relationship. And then obviously, like the longer that you're with someone, the more that you kind of get over that honeymoon phase and you realize that this is the relationship. And that's why I think a lot of relationships these days fail, is because people think that it should always be like the honeymoon phase, but that's just not realistic. And relationships are hard work and communication, and you have to choose someone every single day. You have to choose to, communicate with them and make an effort with them. It's not something that you can just passively be like, oh, whatever, that's my husband or that's my boyfriend or whatever. Like, you need to always make an effort on both sides of the relationship. And I think that's why a lot of people just doesn't work out, because they don't want to make the effort. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. That's just my opinion. Anyway, example for the honeymoon phase. They're still in the honeymoon phase of the relationship. Just wait until the reality kicks in. I kind of don't like this phrase because it makes it sound like, oh, everything's going to go to shit after 3 months or after the honeymoon phase. And that's just not true, in my opinion. I think you can always have that magic of the honeymoon phase, but maybe just not the intensity, like the obsession when you're first falling in love with someone. But I don't like that whole like, oh, just wait until the honeymoon phase is over. It's like just negative. Like, we don't need to be, saying that. But that was my example. All right. The last section is modern dating terminology, some slang, some internet kind of vibes. So here are some vocab phrases for the less fun aspects of modern dating, like kind of negative stuff, but important slang words that you might see on the internet. So the first one is ghosting. This is when you're texting a guy or a girl, and then all of a sudden the communication just stops out of nowhere with no explanation. That means they disappear just like a ghost, and they have ghosted you. It's like it's a verb to ghost someone. Are you ghosting me or she ghosted me? I think he's ghosting me. We use it like a verb. So this sucks. This is very common when you're using dating apps. People will be like super intensely messaging you for like a week, and then all of a sudden they just ghost you for whatever reason. It's very easy to do when you're online dating. I've been ghosted before. It's not fun. I've also ghosted people before. But that's not, it's because they said something really weird or something that I didn't like. And I just didn't feel like explaining to them why. Because when you haven't met the person yet, you feel like I don't really owe you anything. I don't owe you an explanation. I have never met you. If I have met someone and been on a date with them and then I decide to stop talking to them, I wouldn't ghost them because I feel like I kind of owe them an explanation. But if I'm just talking with someone and they're really weird with me or they say something I really don't like, I have no problem with just ghosting them. It's their fault for being weird. They should have, been nicer to me. Okay. The next expression is breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing is a very negative thing, and it happens very often. It's happened to me before. Crumbing, not going. Breadcrumbing is when you send somebody occasional flirty messages to keep them interested without actually committing to a relationship, or giving people little bits of your love without committing to them. It's like leaving a trail of breadcrumbs to keep like somebody following you, or giving little breadcrumbs of love rather than giving them the entire loaf of bread. It's just like, here's a little piece of bread. Here's another little piece of bread. Oh, take this little piece of bread. Oh, there you go. And then you're like, oh, yes, I'll have these tiny pieces of love. And this is enough to keep me going, but it's not enough for a committed relationship. I'm speaking from experience. Anyway, so example, he keeps breadcrumbing me. He texts me enough to keep me hoping, but he never actually asks me out. Don't breadcrumb people. It's not nice. Also, I'm gluten intolerant. I can't even eat bread. So stop breadcrumbing me, boys. The next expression is to bench someone, benching someone. It's like, this comes from sports, like basketball or baseball, or I don't know anything about sports, but that's okay. It's when the team players that aren't actively playing in the game sit on the bench. So benching comes from sports, but in a relationship or in dating terminology, it means keeping someone as a backup option while you pursue other people. Like keeping somebody just sitting on the bench while you're out there playing the game. You're like, no, I'll just bench this guy and see if I can come back to him. That's not cool. Don't do that. It's not nice. Nobody likes to be benched. Nobody likes to be a second option. All right, let's not do that to people. That's very unhealthy. Let's look at the example. I feel like I'm being benched. He only calls me when his other dates don't work out. Not cool, you guys. Not cool. The next expression is catfishing. This is you probably know what it is. There's a very famous TV show called catfishing. I don't know. This is when you create a fake online identity to deceive someone, usually in the context of online dating. It's when you use pictures that aren't your own pictures, or when you really heavily edit your pictures to the point where you look like a different person. That's catfishing. She was catfishing me. None of her photos were real. This is why, if you're online dating, before you meet a boy or a girl or they, them, or whoever, you need to video FaceTime that person, call them, make sure they're a real freaking person. I do that all the time. I'm like, yeah, before we meet, like, let's have a video call. I don't care if people think it's weird. I'm not about to go and meet some 85-year-old man who's pretending to be Zac Efron. We're not doing that here, girl. Okay, zombieing. I've never heard of this. Let's see what it means. When someone who, oh, okay. So this is connected to ghosting. When someone who ghosted you suddenly comes back to your life and contacts you again, like a like a zombie rising from the dead. That's funny. My ex just zombied me with a "Hey, how are you?" after 6 months of silence. That's funny. Okay, last one. Red flags and green flags. So, in a relationship, red flags are warning signs that someone might not be right for you. And a green flag is the opposite. It's a positive sign that someone is a good match for you or they know what a healthy relationship should look like. Some red flags are being very jealous or talking badly about their ex-partners. I hate that when a guy is talking shit about his ex-girlfriend, like she's crazy, she's this, she's that. Huge red flag for me. If you can't acknowledge the bad things you did in your previous relationship and you just blame everything on your ex-partner and you're so comfortable talking badly about somebody in front of me, huge red flag. Don't do that. Even if your ex was crazy, I understand. I've had crazy exes. You shouldn't start talking about all that like at the very beginning. And even if your ex was crazy, you probably still had some negative things that you did in the relationship too. So, yeah, I just really don't like when guys or girls say to me, like, my ex was crazy. No, big red flag. Big red flag. Another red flag, it's like being rude to waiters at the restaurant or talking badly about their mother or just like talking badly about other women, like, oh, did you see how this girl dresses? Or I don't know, like anything where you talk like badly about women or like you don't respect women in general and you only respect or like me, a red flag. Green flags, on the other hand, what are some of my green flags? Green flags are things like being able to express vulnerability and talk about their weaknesses or talk about what they think should be happening in a healthy relationship. Green flags are when their actions align with their words. So they're not all just talk, talk, talk. They can talk the talk and walk the walk, you know? They don't just say, okay, I'm gonna pick you up at this time. We're going here on this date. I'm gonna do this. And then they are inconsistent or they make excuses or they cancel all the time. Like for me, a huge green flag is when a guy says, we're gonna do this or I'm gonna do this, and then they just do it, you know? I really need your actions and your words to match. Green flag. Remembering details about me. When I tell them something, are they actively listening? If they can later on recall details like my mom's name, my best friend's boyfriend's, whatever, like just those details that we tell people about our lives. And then later they can say, like, oh, your mom, blah, blah, blah. And they remember what you said. That's a big green flag for me. That shows that they're genuinely interested in me below the surface level. And they are listening to what I have to say, you know, like remembering and actively listening. Because a lot of people are very good at just being like, when you're talking, but they're not really listening. They're just thinking of the next thing that they want to say. So active listening and then recalling what I said, green flag. And remembering important details about me, like remembering my favorite coffee order or remembering things that I'm uncomfortable. Like I'm very open about sharing with people like, oh, I don't really like when you touch my hair like this. And then they remember that detail and they don't do it again. That's really important for me personally. It's like I set boundaries and that they respect them. That's another green flag. So that's red flag and green flag. I don't know why I just shared all of mine with you. So yeah, well, I have a lot more vocabulary, but this episode is long enough. So maybe if you guys like this topic, we can continue this episode. But I have like vocab for going through relationship problems, vocab for breaking up. So yeah, but I need to stop the episode here. So if you liked this topic, we can continue it. And what's the question for this week? What are your red flags and green flags in relationship? Let me know in the comments below. I think that will be an interesting discussion to have. So, thank you guys for listening and watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.